I'll just get my microphone and we'll keep an eye out for Craig. Sweet. How long have you been on the streets for? Do you prefer, is it on the streets or homeless, or does it not really?
Homeless, architecturally challenged or whatever. What do you call it? I don't care being called anything as long as they don't call me a bum. Because that's a no-no. Bum implies that you're lazy.
Husky told me that it's $25 to get into a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
Can you kind of like summarize that for people who don't know?
Well, any homeless shelter you go to, you've got to pay for. There's no free ones. There's a drop-in centre that's free, the Salvos, but that's not actual homeless shelter. You can go there and lay on the ground and doze off, but you won't get any sleep there because it's people carrying on all night, and you know there's so many fights and that happen there, and police get called there 5 times a night. Where any other homeless shelter you go to, proper homeless shelter that has a bed that you sleep in, you have to pay for. The cheapest ones are $25. The next one up I think is $35, and the next one is $45, and that's per night.
So how do most people get the money for that? Just by like?
Well, I do it by walking around asking for change.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get the dole because I have no address. So.
What's your number one criticism on society?
From where I am at the moment, the number one criticism would be that people don't have enough time for other people that aren't directly like connected to them. When I was growing up, it didn't seem like that. You know, you could walk through Melbourne and say hi to a stranger and they'd say hi back, you know.
So do you think there's less of that now?
Well, like I said, I don't know if it's the fact that I'm homeless and that because I'm homeless they're treating me like that, or if that's how, but from where I am, yeah. You know, most homeless people will actually be the first person to jump up and give someone a seat on a tram, or help a lady with a pram onto the tram or whatever, you know. I see it all the time, and I do it all the time, you know. And could be that because we don't have phones and all that, not stuck in our phone or whatever, you know, I don't know, but yeah, we know what it's like to need help, and you know, so we're the first to help.
How many meals do you have a day?
1.
Do you?
Yeah.
And what time do you usually have it?
Normally at about 2 in the morning. So I walk all day. I try to make enough for the room. If I don't make enough, then whatever I've got, I eat at the end of the night.
Yeah.
That's even if I've got enough to eat. But, yeah, there has been days I've had to go without.
What do you think is a misconception about homelessness?
That we're all on drugs and that we're all bad people, and yeah, like the same amount of people that are on drugs and all that in the homeless society is the same as what's in normal society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just as many people drink or do drugs in normal society as do who that are homeless.
Yeah,
just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're going to be on drugs.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, homeless people choose to be homeless." I've only met 2 guys ever that have chosen to be homeless, you know, because I mean, why would you want to sleep out in the cold, get people looking down on you, having to struggle to eat and shower? And the only reason, the first guy I met who chose to be homeless, he didn't even really choose it. He was a doctor, right? And in the matter of 1 month, his daughter died in a car accident, and then his wife committed suicide because of it. So he lost everything, and he just couldn't work. And you know, I haven't seen him in years, so I hope he's doing all right. But like, he used to just sit there rubbing his legs all the time on the street, and he kind of like chose to opt out of life. And the other guy that I met that chose to be homeless, he just, I don't know, he's just got something a little bit wrong and just prefers to be outside roaming around.
What's the craziest interaction you've had with another homeless person?
With another homeless guy?
Yeah. Or girl.
I've been followed like by this one lady who just wasn't making any sense and all that, and just I could not get a straight answer out of her. The other morning I was asleep and some guys just come up, grabbed my water, opened it, stuck his dirty syringe in my water, sucked up some water, and then put my water back for me. And I'm just like, you can keep it, bro. Fucking hell.
Where are the main places where people go to like wash up and stuff?
There's vans called Orange Sky that come out where you can wash your clothes,
Oh yeah.
but you got to have clothes to change into.
Yeah, just be naked like.
Yeah, well, that's it. A lot of us homeless guys only have the one set of clothes. So yeah, you got to have a change of clothes. Or there's a free shower at the Docklands Library. I know that, but yeah. So that's about. Oh, and there's showers at the salvos too. But you're going to have to line up and wait.
How do you see an end to homelessness?
Well, the government needs to do something about that because they don't really do anything. I mean, they subsidise charities and that a bit, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You know, they've really got to start making some cheap, affordable housing and lots of it. Homelessness is kind of like a thing that no one really worries about, you know what I mean? I mean, people do worry about it, but nothing gets really done about it.
What do you think are some ways that people can generally help? Because like I have heaps of friends who are like, oh, I really want to do something, but then they get so caught up in their own day-to-day shit that they don't do. Like, what are some really simple or not simple ways that people can actually help?
It depends on how you want to help, you know what I mean? Like, if you're talking about a single person, like helping like with single persons, like depends on what they need, you know what I mean? Like, if a guy walks up to you and he asks you for money to eat, if you can, buy him something to eat, you know what I mean? Or if you want to help overall, you know, you volunteer your time at a soup van or whatever, or salvos. Well, don't go to salvos because unless you've got a really thick skin, you're not going to survive there. But yeah, I don't know. And not only that, just take the time out for a person, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they come up and go to speak to you, talk to them.
Yeah.
Unless they've been, you know, violent or whatever, and then fair enough, walk away.
Yeah.
But if they're not being violent or, you know, not being abusive, why not speak to them, mate?
Yeah. What do you say to people who are like, oh, just go get a job?
Well, the stupid thing with that is, how the hell would you sleep in an alleyway, get up and go to work?
Yeah.
You know, you've got to shower, you've got to eat, you've got to sleep, all before you go to work. So without that roof over your head, you're not going to be able to hold the job.
Yeah.
Most people aren't going to hire you anyway if you're homeless.
Yeah.
You know, unless you get very lucky and find someone who says, I'll find a boss who says, look, I know you're homeless, I'll hire you anyway. You can stay here for 2 weeks till you get paid or whenever you get paid, and then you can get your own place or whatever. But how many people are going to do that? You know what I mean? So the house comes first. You know?
Yeah.
But also, I'm not priority for housing. Like, I'm on a waiting list, and it's a big waiting list, but they work on priority, which means the more problems you've got, the faster you get it. So because I have no mental problems, no drug problems, no kids, I'm a single male, I'm above the age of 25, so I'm not a youth. They're like, you don't need it as bad as this guy here, so you just got to wait. You reckon it'd be you put your name down and you're in line, but people keep getting shoved in front of you.
When people ask you like, oh, how did you end up on the streets? Like, what do you say? Like,
I just say to them, look, I left my job and my home to go be with a girl up in the country, and she turned out to be really violent, was hitting me, and I could deal with that, but it got worse and worse. And when she stabbed me with a screwdriver, I was like, enough's enough, I'm out of here. Came back to Melbourne and I had nothing to come back to. No job, no money, no home. And so, and I didn't realise how hard it was actually going to be. I thought all I had to do, and back then I didn't know you had to pay for homeless shelters. I thought, oh, you know, I'll go to a homeless shelter, they'll put me up and I'll be back on my feet in no time. And then when they told me I had to pay, I was like, what the fuck?
How long has it been again? Since
I've lost track of exactly how long it is, but it's been over 6 years now. Yeah, at least.
What do you want non-homeless people to know? Like, what are some things that you just want to communicate?
We're normal people just like everyone else. Yeah, look, not all of us are, but most of us are just normal people. The only difference between me and the guy over there is that I don't have a house. You know what I mean? I'm just as smart, I'm just as caring, I'm just in a different fucking situation. People don't have enough time for other people that aren't directly like connected to them.